Yeah, what's up, TATS Nation? Welcome to Theology in the Streets podcast, where no topic goes untouched. It's your boy, Pastor Lou, a.k.a. Late to the Game. And I got with me on my left,
Jim Juggernaut in the building. How you doing, man?
Got with me on my far right.
It's your boy, Don Dada. Back one more again.
Hey, yo, listen. Our boy, Kirk Classic, is on vacation. We got Dave in the cut Jones filling in. What's up, Dave?
I'm in the house, y'all.
That's right.
In the cut voice, everything. Yo, listen, if you haven't gone on vacation this summer, make sure you take your family out. Do something, even if it's for a day, right? A weekend, a week, something, man. Do something with your family, man. Get a peace of mind and enjoy the nature and all that good stuff. But big ups to Kirk Classic, man. Enjoy that time with the fams. You hear me?
No doubt.
We jealous.
For real. Listen, we drop episodes every Wednesday and Friday. Make sure you check us on Anchor.fm, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and subscribe to our channel on YouTube. If you're checking us on YouTube, share it with somebody. Also, hit that little subscribe button, hit that little bell button, so every time we drop, you get notified. And if you want to follow us on our social media, check us on Facebook at TATS Podcast, Instagram and Twitter at TATS_podcast. And if you want to drop an email, you want to challenge us in some way, feel free to email us at theologyinthestreets@gmail.com. You feel me?
You're welcome. Welcome.
Yeah. So, listen, you about to get offended today.
Yes.
Heavy topic today. We are about to get into politics because it is political season and the gloves are off.
That's right.
And the DNC and the GOP, they going at it. And
Patrol.
So I just want to get it started here. Where do you guys land politically speaking? And how did you get to the point where you're at? Let's start off with Dawn. Dawn.
Oh, mine's simple. I jump ship. You know what I mean? Sometimes I'm Democratic, depending on who. I can't say I belong to a political party. You know what I mean? I go with the individual and see what they're about, see what they're trying to produce, see what their vision is. And if I'm in agreement, then I'll go that route. So I can't say that I'm, any political party. I think both have faults, both have pros and cons. And so I can't really say lately I've been leaning more on the conservative side on a couple of things. But again, I can't say I'm in one sector. I can't commit to one.
Yeah. What about you, Dave? Jones?
I'm all over the place, man. I grew up in a very conservative home. My pops was a hardcore Republican, and with my mom was she was a Christian. My dad wasn't a Christian, but my mom, she leaned more Democratic. Which is, she just, that's just how she voted, you know what I'm saying? But I saw both sides of the spectrum, and, as I grew older, man, I noticed that I have views on both sides, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm very much pro-life, you know what I'm saying? But then there's, I have conservative views, man, but then there's some Republican views that I just can't rock with.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So it's just, for me, man, it's a mix. So I identify as independent just because I'm a mixture of all of them.
I see.
Yeah.
For me personally, I think I didn't really like acknowledging politics. I didn't acknowledge politics seriously until I became a believer, a Christian. But even then, I don't know if I can say I affiliate with any party. I would say I swing conservatively for moral values, but at the same time, I feel like nobody in politics represent me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a face, nowhere to be found. And even the ones that are the same color skin, they don't got my values. That's you know what I mean? So I would say I voted Democrat, I voted Republican, but as a believer, I would say I lean conservatively for those who represent maybe my moral values.
Mm-hmm. I hear you.
Yeah, me, I'm a Republican, moderate, centrist, lean to the right.
how I came to be that. I grew up poor as hell, man. My mom and dad were very poor. Welfare, food stamps, poverty. I didn't know I was poor till I got to middle school because the whole damn neighborhood was poor. We all went to the same elementary school. And I always used to say, yo, when I grow up, man, I ain't never going to put my kids through this. I had rich cousins, lived in the burbs. Oh, they would pick us up, swimming pools. They all had bicycles, skateboards, everything. I used to be like, damn, Mom, Pops, man, what's up, man?
Yeah.
And my mom is a perfect example of welfare, loving welfare. Like, the government enabled her.
Yeah,
They were an enabler to be like, yo, stay on welfare. And back then, the motto was, more kids you get, more money you
Welfare
get,
was good
more
back
food
then.
stamps you get. And it saved us because
Back
we was
then,
poor.
welfare
We was
was
poor.
good
Oh, it did.
back
You
then.
know, without it, we would have
Big block
starved,
of
right?
cheese.
That cheese, boy.
Oh,
you make a
remember
grilled
that welfare
with
cheese?
that? Oh,
I remember
man.
that.
grilled cheese was
Delicious.
official.
It came in handy.
Delicious.
But I look at it as if
Enabled.
welfare didn't help my mom and dad, then my mom and dad would have had no choice but to go work.
Yeah.
Right? So I finally grew up. It took me a long time to grow up. I partied till I was like 24, 25. Finally started working and started moving up the ranks and see what a good job does for you as a
Yes.
person, as your
Yes.
mind and the whole nine. And it made me mature quickly. And I was like, this is what's up, man. And I just moved up and kept moving up. And honestly, the more money I made, the more I was like, I saw all the taxes being taken out of my paycheck. And I was like, wow. And that's what got me to the conservative side.
Okay, kind of leading you over.
And I was like, yo, this is America right here, man. The harder you work, you gonna get something.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, let me jump on just kind of what you said there though about your family with that kind of welfare mentality, just indoctrinated by that mentality. I got a family member that came out of prison, and he had always been a worker his whole life, but spending some time in prison, he became institutionalized by someone taking care of him. And I remember him telling me like, yo, when I was like, yo, you gonna get a job? And he was like, I'm gonna try to apply for disability because he had a couple bum knees and he had a bad back. I'm like, bro, that's not something you want to do. He was like, why not? I said, bro, you're gonna stay broke your whole life.
Yeah.
I said, you still able body. You can go to work. You know what I'm saying? That's not God intended for you to just be scraping by, And he didn't heed any of my advice. He actually went and applied, and he actually was not accepted. But now he's working, and his whole psyche is different. The fact that a man is working brings some kind of satisfaction to his soul.
Oh, yeah.
It's good to work. It's
Oh, yeah.
good to go and put a hard day's work in, even if you may not like everything. But the fact that you accomplish something, you're gonna get paid for what you did. I think that's important.
But I had the opposite effect than Jamma.
Yeah.
I grew up with money. First, my pops and my moms. My pops had a good job. My mom had a good job, thriving. Remember, Rochester had a lot of companies here, major companies back then. So they worked in one of the major companies. Mom worked a little bit at Kodak, Pops. Then when, dabbling with the selling drugs, started using up their own supply, and then started, go down the drain, we had to get the welfare because of all the drug abuse and all these things.
Yeah.
So it was a crutch. It was kind of used the way it was supposed to be used. It was a crutch moment that we needed it. You know what I mean? Milked it for a little while because back then, you be working and you be having welfare, all types of welfare fraud. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But milked it, and then, my pops was never the type to like handouts.
Yeah,
That wasn't his thing. So, my mom really more used it than my pops. But it was used for a crutch until she was able to get back on her feet and all that thing. So it was used the way it was supposed to be used. Yeah. As a crutch, you having that little moment that you need extra support. They give you like $400 in food stamps. Everybody eating still at least, and then back to work.
Yeah. So when we look, because we talking about welfare in a sense, and that's really been pushed by the Democratic Party to a major degree, and I think the intention is not a bad thing, man. I think they want to make sure people who are poor or who don't have access to many things, they're trying to help them out. However, more government is not the answer, in my opinion. So coming back, when you become accustomed to someone giving you something that you have not worked for, yo, that's easy. That's what like you were talking about, Jammer. Your mom kind of got caught up, yo. But I ain't gonna lie, that black cheese, that block of
What?
cheese. Yo, why was it in the cardboard?
Fire.
Though?
Why
Why was it in the cardboard?
Yeah,
Mine
the
was
brown
always like in the
cardboard.
cardboard. Yeah, the brown cardboard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with the blue
Blueprint.
Yeah.
Yo, my bad.
Listen, but you
Yo,
melt
was
that
a
cheese,
fit.
bro. That was the best grilled
Oh,
cheeses
my
you ever
God.
gonna make.
Not
with
only that,
those.
it got harder then, so you cut that part
Yes.
off and you come in a little bit.
Yes.
It got extra yellow at the ends. Right there. Oh my goodness.
My
Yo,
bad, my
me and
bad.
Me and my boys used to buy it off of people, man.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at that.
Look at
Look
that.
at that.
Yeah.
Even rich folk trying to get it. Like, yo, man, we can't get that, man. We need to buy that. We selling our cheese on the block.
But they had that
cheese, I
nasty.
got that
They had that
cheese.
nasty powdered milk too. That was
With
man.
the kaboom cereal. I hate kaboom. To this day, I can't even smell kaboom. My stomach
Yo.
gets sick.
Remember-
because so much kaboom and with the powdered milk.
Remember
You're
your
eating that.
Dookie used to come out colorful?
Oh,
from the
goodness.
kaboom?
No, you got deep on that, huh?
Yeah.
I can't
It was
mess with
real,
this
son.
dude,
The
yo.
kaboom,
Oh,
right?
my
Yo, to this
God.
day, for real, to this day, if I smell kaboom, oh man, I get
get you.
nauseous. I
Yo,
get nauseous. That's how much
kaboom is
welfare
disgusting.
kaboom I ate.
PTSD, man.
Yeah. All right, my
My bad. We went on a
fellas.
tangent.
So, but if you become accustomed from a Democratic standpoint, and it's not to say the Republicans don't try to help out and stuff like that, because they all got to pass legislation to get together, but when you have a party that's constantly pushing, and I feel like this, we want to help you, we want to help you, we want to help you, without helping out in the area of, all right, let's get you better education, let's get you out of the rut, let's get you into a point where you can establish wealth not only for yourself but for your family. I see that as an issue for the Democratic Party. They talk about that, but I just see more big government with them, and I struggle with that.
Listen, the welfare has got reformed though. It's
In some areas, yeah, it has.
It's,
It has.
You're not just milking it anymore.
Yeah.
So
I feel
let's,
like
But
it
there's still
hasn't been-
fraud, though.
Well, I feel like it hasn't been reformed enough.
Yeah, I would say that, too.
Because here's the thing for me, it's like, and this has been pretty much a very unpopular opinion about it, but I feel like if you started making recipients of welfare get drug tested, man, listen.
listen. Let's.
I
Okay.
think Trump said that, though, didn't he?
Listen, a lot of them said it, but nobody's doing anything. I think they do it in Florida, if I'm not mistaken, man.
A couple of states are trying, right? I
Yeah,
heard.
but what I'm saying is there needs to be some accountability, because if you're gonna sit home all day and just not work and just get high and do whatever, blah blah blah, you know what I'm saying? It's just like this whole thing with the stimulus thing, man. It's like, I get it. There's people out there that need the extra $600, but you got brothers out there that's trying not to work so they can get the extra
Yeah,
money.
yeah.
man.
Listen, but
Always
what's
fraud.
that?
Yeah.
Listen,
You know
there's
what I'm
only
saying?
one loophole though. Okay, I mean, there's many loopholes, but the biggest loophole, because right now, if you're a single male, able-bodied, you are not getting welfare. They're
Yeah,
not playing.
they're not,
They're not playing. Or you're working and they keeping the check. Okay. Oh no, it's serious right now. And if you're a single woman with no kids, you are not getting. You're barely getting food stamps. Barely. They're not playing right now. Or you're working and they're gonna keep the money and they're gonna, give you they're gonna recoup the money that you get paid. They'll get you a job.
Right.
So they're not. The loophole is the women having children.
Yeah.
That's the only loophole that they need to fix. Because I'm telling you, you are able-bodied, you're not getting no. Nah, if you come from a different country, they might give you 6 months or something like that. But
Yeah,
soon,
for refugees,
but
they
listen,
do that.
listen, you have to come to recertify. If you don't, they cut you off.
Yeah, they're hard on the
not playing.
refugees.
They're
yeah.
not playing, man. They're not playing.
Yo.
They'll cut you off, and you got to do everything all over again, all over again. So listen, it's not the way it used to be at all.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not a game
Yeah,
right now.
back in the day, it was like you could milk it
Oh,
for
you
life.
you didn't even have to go to
For
appointments
life.
and nothing like that.
Yeah.
Right now, one little thing, they
off,
cut
man.
you off. They ain't playing. And then you got to wait in line and do the whole thing all over again. Again, you barely getting food stamps right now.
Well, maybe that's why they didn't implement the whole drug testing thing, because they don't have to.
Right now, they're tough. Again, the loophole is the when a woman has a kid.
Oh, okay.
Right. So I think the Democratic Party, though, like you said, instead of doing that, it's better to implement programs to help people, train them, help them with how to get a job, educate them, give them free education. They got those programs.
Yeah, they do.
EOC.
They
I know
do.
a lot of people that came
Lot of
up
programs.
in the inner city through government programs, man,
telling you,
and
they're
they
cracking
did
down.
really
Yeah,
good.
they're cracking down.
So those are
Yeah.
good things.
Yeah.
Those are good things
It
that
is.
they do. My problem with the DNC is they want the people that are poor, you know what I'm saying? They want to help them to the point where they'll be equal or close to equal with middle class, hardworking people.
I understand.
Now that's not fair.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's my problem. With
So you got to work your way out of that.
Yeah, like help them. Yeah,
help them,
give
but they
some
gotta
to
put their work
survive,
in.
But don't give them so much help that they're equal with me.
Yeah.
Because I'm busting my butt. So is my wife, and we're being frugal and responsible. And if they're not, then that's not fair.
Okay, so coming back though to what's going on right now, it is election season. We saw last week, if anybody saw last week, was up into the news. You had the Democratic Party have their convention, and they had multiple speakers out there. And one of the arguments is like, "Yo, you have to go out to vote because if Trump stays being the president,
it's the end of the world."
It's kind of the end of the world. And some people believe that.
That's crazy.
But I think their approach. I watched the DNC. They did a good job, bro.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it 100.
I think they focus more on the plan than
They
the whole fear factor of it. You know what I'm saying?
They pushed that, but they did a good job communicating who they are and what they plan to do.
Right.
And that's and I think they probably got that a lot from Obama, to be 100% with you.
He is the prototype. He brought this whole type of governmental, socialistic, quasi-Marxist ideology into existence, and now he's got like a whole cult following. The whole Democratic Party is like following his model of hope and help. You know what I'm saying?
He's loved. He's beloved by the Democratic Party. But they're what they were communicating, I think they did a good job communicating to their base.
I thought it was over-emotional. Extremely over emotional, a lot of fear factor. It was like, save our country. We have to. This is the most important election in the world. He's going to destroy America as we know it. Oh, this and this and that. It was like, wow, just push your policies. You don't got to treat it like the doomsday election. But that's the way I took it. I was like, are you serious?
And that was their argument that from the other side, saying that they treated it like that. They felt disrespected, it's doomsday,
it's
the country's in a rut. You know what I mean?
You don't think the country's in a rut?
I think
due to the coronavirus.
Yeah, I don't think.
Before coronavirus.
So let me ask you this.
Hold on. Before coronavirus, dude, we was balling. That's all I saw. But go ahead.
Okay. No, I would agree with that. But my problem is that a lot of people like to sit and act like Trump isn't pushing this narrative of negativity, man.
Yeah.
When you
president, Twitter faker.
Most of my family is from the deep South, man. I've never had to experience the racism that my family has had to experience. Most of my family, man, were affected by Jim Crow laws. You know what I'm saying? Blacks couldn't, you couldn't even come in certain buildings, man. The lynchings and all of this stuff. So I didn't even come close to experiencing any of that stuff. But my mother did, my father did, my aunts and my uncles did. So when you got a guy who is the most powerful man in the world, okay, the leader of the free world, can sit at a table and say there were decent people on both sides. When you got
straight up racist torch wielding, one dude licking shots at somebody because he looked at him wrong. To me, man, you are the leader of the free world, man. You're better than that. And so when I see Trump stooping to those levels, man, and pandering for those, you got the world on a platter, but you want to pander to the amoebas and the stuff that gets left behind in the petri dish when the sample dries up. That's who you want to pander to. He's better than that. And, is he?
Well, what I'm
right?
saying is
that's a valid question. Is he? Is that his persona though? Right.
Right. But what I'm saying is, when I look at, so as a father myself, okay, I look at Donald Trump as a dad, okay, and I look at his kids, how he's provided for his kids. There's a model there where his father, as faulted as his father may have been, his father left his son with something to build off on.
Yeah.
And isn't
generational wealth.
Yes, and that's something. And a lot of people won't admit that, but that's something that we all strive to do. We want to leave our kids with something, generational wealth, man. And so when I look at Trump as a father, man, And then I look at his kids, and all of his kids are successful and stuff like that. To me, I feel like as a father, he's been a success. Now, can he bring that over into his political life? Can he bring it over into his own life? And that's why I say he's better than that, because obviously he's raised some. I don't know how well-rounded his kids are, but I know that they're successful. And a lot of people say, well, it was easy for them. It's like, well, was it really?
Yeah, but success don't breed character.
It doesn't. It doesn't. But the point that I'm trying to make, though, is that his kids you could be reading every day about Don Jr. and what's the other cat, Eric and Ivanka, all of them wilding out, man, strung out on drugs and stuff, but you don't.
Yeah.
They said Ivanka Trump brought in $82 million last year, man. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Off of her business ventures and stuff. So when the point that I'm making is that I feel like Donald Trump has always had the potential, and he has always shown that he could be successful. But them cameras, man, and them lights, once them cameras and them lights hit him, man, and it's the same. We were just talking about it with the entertainment business, man.
Yeah.
You have to, it's hard to avoid those cameras and those lights, man, when you get successful, because I'm going to tell you, man, those same lights that shine on you, they're the same ones that will blind you.
So you're emphasizing on some of the statements that he made that shouldn't have been probably wasn't the best, but it wasn't the best statements to put out at those moments.
I think he just played it wrong. He played it wrong because he did crucify Nazism, white supremacy, the whole nine. He did clarify, like, yo, I didn't mean that.
Yeah.
Well, all he really meant, and that's Trump's problem, he don't know how to communicate.
No,
he ain't no Barack Obama. He don't know how to articulate.
Indeed.
Beautifully,
He's not an orator.
eloquently. He's not. He's
orator.
horrible. He's horrible.
Well,
speaker.
we knew that too.
And he always steps on his own words, and then he tries to defend it instead of saying, "Yo, I misspoke."
Yeah, he
Instead
don't like
of saying
losing.
that.
He don't like taking the L at all.
At all. And
Yeah, he
nothing.
won't take a
What
L.
he meant was there was regular people who weren't white supremacists or Nazis or racists that were saying, hold on, no, we don't want to take this statue down. It's very historical to us. It was a robbery. That's who he meant.
Yeah, I know.
Right? He didn't mean white supremacists and the
Are good
Nazis.
people, right?
He didn't mean them. And he had to clarify the day later where he specifically said, yo, I don't pump with none of those dudes. I ain't no room in America for them. But the liberal media ran with it and
because
used
it was a misspoke. It was a he said
did
it wrong.
misspeak.
He
did
misspeak.
misspeak.
Yeah. So they're gonna use it. They're gonna use it.
And I think that's his major
But at the same time,
flaw.
he is known for straight up lying, embellishing.
Oh, yeah.
He and that's something that I think people have come to detest about him, because I think it comes back to never taking an L, right?
Yeah, that's what
he's
it is.
always trying to
I think that's
be
what it
on
is.
top. He's always trying to, I can't look like I've failed. I can't look like I've done anything wrong.
Yep.
He takes credit where credit's not due to him.
Yep.
And then he won't take responsibility when he looks like the failure. Like, for example, I lost a lot of respect for Trump back in February when he said, when they asked him a question, do you feel like, basically how they were taking on COVID-19, do you feel like it's your responsibility? He said, I take no responsibility for it. Man, that bothered me hearing that from a leader.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because as a leader myself, everything falls back on leadership, even if it ain't your fault. You want to know why? Because you drive the ship.
Yeah.
So when I heard that, I lost a lot of respect. It just kind of confirmed already what I believe about him, is that he won't take an L because his ego is way too big. Way too big. And
that's and he has
people hate that.
And he has that Mayweather effect. That I want to see him take the L.
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
want him to take the L.
Exactly.
People want to see him lose.
They want to see him
want to see him
lose.
lose.
And they hate on him even more when he does win.
Exactly.
But that's a matter of opinion also.
Yeah, it is.
Like, a lot of people don't blame Trump for what happened with
You're
the
right.
COVID. You know, they're like, no, they looked at the stats and everything's like, nah, it's just, it was a hit or miss. You can't, hindsight is 20/20. Like, okay, maybe you should have acted earlier. But I wanted to bring up, like, he's a bad person. He's got some flaws about him, right?
Major character
Don't want
flaws,
to take the
yeah.
L, mad egotistical, the whole nine, right? And people vote on that. Like it's a popularity
I hear what you're
contest
saying,
in high school for class president, where you should be voting on policy. Yeah, he's a crappy person, but what does he want to do for the country? Oh, that's a great plan. Oh, that's a great plan. People should vote on that. And then you got two type of voters. No, I vote on how good he looks, how good he speaks, how he represents us. But behind closed doors, my man doing this and this and this and that. That's not good for us, right?
Good, yeah.
And then you got the other voter who like, I don't care how he act or what he do.
Explain that, Gemma. Like, what policies have Trump? Because I think he has pushed a lot of good policies for America. But can you elaborate maybe one or two policies that he's brought into America that's been beneficial for us without he didn't get no shine for, or he doesn't get acknowledged for?
Anything he does, like the liberal media bias in Hollywood and television, they're like totally against him. It's like conspiracy, like they're teamed up. So anything he does, they turn it into a negative, right? New trade deals, right? Japan, China, it's good. He's like, yo, they getting over on us. We buying mad stuff from them. They buying nothing from us.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
You know what I'm saying? No, we got to make it even. Another thing he's doing, we're too dependent on essential resources from other countries. He's like, that's bad. It just came to proof during the COVID.
Yes,
like, yo, look at the supply shortage we have.
Yes.
There's no bicycles. There's no weights in Walmart. It's like, yo, we missing mad stuff. He's like, we're too dependent on China. That's bad. Let's bring work back to America, right? Because what Obama and Clinton and Bush did through NAFTA was like, yo, let's send jobs out
Crazy.
to other countries and boost their economy, because we have to help the world. Let's boost their economy, increase their middle class, and in return, we get cheaper product.
Yeah.
Right? You know how cheaper it is? $2, $3. You're risking middle class workers to pay $2 or $3 cheaper on a product.
And not only that, bro, I purchased something recently, just to give you a heads up right here. I purchased something, and I thought it was from a local company, but it was a company from China. Now, in their website, they had a local address here in America. I got the product. Product was so shabby. It was so trashy. I wanted to send it back, and I paid through PayPal. And the company was trying to negotiate with me about returning it. Like, yo, we'll give you 20% off.
Made in America?
No, the company was established, like their company, they had an address on their website as if they were in America. But when I got the products, it all came from China. So, they were scamming, you know what I'm saying? And
so that's a plan. Trump's go ahead.
So I tried to send it back. Now, I had to go fight through PayPal. I eventually, long story short, went to my bank. I was like, yo, forget this. PayPal wasn't even trying to give me no love. And I was like, yo. And then, so when they gave me an opportunity to send it back, they gave me an address in Hong Kong to a tower with no suite number.
Wow.
And I'm like, yo, I'm not sending it. You're not getting the shipment from here. It would cost basically the amount of what I purchased everything for.
Right.
So I had to go to my bank. So what you're saying there about all the jobs or the scamming, how China has taken advantage of America with the trade deals, these kind of things have allowed that have crept into America, and it's affecting Americans.
Yeah.
Because you know how many people, I went and looked up PayPal and look at the complaints. You know how many people had complaints over this, and PayPal wasn't even representing the American folk who actually bought all these products.
Yeah.
And it's a scam that's going on, man. But nevertheless, go ahead, bro.
No, like COVID. COVID really proved what Jammin was saying, because we go and we went to Walmart and went to go see different stuff that would usually be there. Gone.
Right.
Gone. And not restocked, because they can't restock it.
And Trump is voicing it. It's like, yo, let's get out of this, man.
Yeah.
Let's bring jobs back. Made in America. We're increasing employment.
Yeah.
American workers are working. Manufacturing coming back to America. And you might pay $2 or $3 more for an American-made product, but people are working.
And that's based on the facts right there, right? See, that's the policies you're talking about. Not only that, he brought in prison reform too, like other president.
But he does not get no props.
The First
He don't
Step
get
Act.
no love for that.
The First Step Act is called, and it was made by a Democratic and a Republican senator or
They brought it
representative,
for him,
and he brought it for him. He was like, "Love."
He's done a lot of work with that, and for some reason, that's whenever he's on stage, man, he never talks about it.
Yeah, we bring that up because my man don't shine on his policies.
On the stuff
the
that he
very
should be.
thing that he should be pushing. My man is swinging with insults and comments and Sleepy
man.
Joe and
that's to show you that he doesn't have that
the vernacular, man. He don't have it.
He's not a politician.
All business acumen, but when it comes to the politics, my man. So when he ran in 2016, he ran on straight up accusing everybody and calling them names. The problem is that in the Republican Party, all his opponents did the same exact
It was
thing
terrible.
as him.
It was terrible.
They tried to play his game.
They tried to play his game.
It was.
But he even sucked Hillary Clinton into it because when she was on the stage with him, she was blank name.
They were just talking junk. It was
wrong.
like, oh my God, what was this right here?
Yo, and he looked like a genius to some degree when dealing with these people. Like, yo, this dude is not a politician. Why y'all arguing with this dude?
Yeah.
And he was literally just causing them. Yeah, they
went down to his level.
So, but he has been in the last 4 years, this is my opinion, the most divisive president that's out there. Obama had already, I think, to some degree, there was division between Republicans and Democrats. What people were looking for when Trump came in was, can he bring them together to further along the country? And that's just far from the truth right now, man. You just there is division, and I know a lot of it is stoked by media, and we'll get into that in a second.
That's a great segue, man, because we gonna go to my man. Jeff
Okay, so we're gonna get into that next. That whole media division.
So
but right now it's trending on the streets.
Oh, word? We back on the trending on the streets, man. Bad news again, bro. Brother in Wisconsin shot in the back like 6 times. He was trying to break up a fight between 2 women that I'm assuming that he knew. He had his kids in the back of the car. Got out the car, cops came. Something ensued. They tried to talk him down. They pulled guns, told him to chill. He was like, whatever. He tried to go into his car. Cops felt unsafe, like he was about to go grab a gun or something, and shot him 6 times in the back in front of his kids. Wow. It's problem in training, bro. It's problem in citizens not complying with police officers. Wow. I think they took it too far. They could have stunned him. They could have wrestled him to the ground. Yeah. Kids is right there, man. They went automatically to the gun. That's crazy. That's another racial incident in America, man.
Well, not only that, they could have hit the kids
also.
in the car. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. They didn't even think about that.
That's crazy. That's crazy, man. I think cops are becoming rebellious. And citizens are already rebellious, and it's a bad mix, man. It's gasoline. Yeah. Another thing that happened, another racial incident, basketball player in the playoffs, I think his name was Harrell, called Luka Doncic a B.A. white boy. In a game. They read his lips and everything. I mean, everybody mad, but we're going to see what happened, because people are arguing if it was the other way around, holy moly, my man would have been shunned from the NBA, probably fired, and the whole 9, but it's right now ain't nothing happening. Right now it's like
the hypocrisy there, right? If it would have been
double standard.
It definitely runs deep.
And so those are 2 racial things I got for you today in this political discussion we having today, man. It's getting bad. We got to come together, man. Police officers, please stop shooting people, man. Please. There's a better alternative, man. There's always a better alternative. Use better judgment. Citizens, please comply.
Word.
Please, bro. Just chill. Just
remember we had Wayne on here, the ex-cop. He said, listen, I'm going to tell y'all like this. And we thought he was going to say something else. He said, listen, you know how they going to come. So won't y'all just,
he said, comply. Or y'all going to get hurt.
Basically, and I thought he was going to kick another spiel, but he just went there with it. Yeah. He went there with it.
That's part of how they train, man. You know what I mean? You comply. They the authority. You know, they the cops. And they ain't playing. They putting dudes out, man. It's tough, bro.
Jim, I had a question. Did the dude was about to fight the basketball player when he said that, or no?
There was arguing. Yeah, they was like in each other's face talking junk. Cause Luka Doncic putting it on these boys, man. That's all I'm saying. I think they got a little upset because Luka catching wreck on these.
First 4 playoff games, my man's dropped a triple-double. Only other player to do that has been Magic Johnson.
That's crazy. So I think
he hit the game winner in Game 4.
Oh, you saw that?
Oh, he hit that in overtime. That was sweet, yo.
It's sad because the Clippers is money, man. They got I think they got the toughest first round matchup.
Yes,
man.
they do.
Yeah.
All right, so coming back, politics obviously is divisive. Families get divided, but one of the issues that I think we find is that media, not only just social media, but just media in general, the news, it has taken sides. And it is ugly. It's ugly out there, man. CNN is known for really hating Trump.
No
Yeah.
doubt.
Fox News is really known for riding Trump. They ride him like it's no tomorrow. They give him the love like no other. But I don't think this has been beneficial for our country either.
Nah,
Anyone want to elaborate on that?
journalism is not journalism anymore.
No.
It's all op-ed, man. You can't tell if you're getting the real news or not. It's you getting news, but you're getting it in a skewed, manipulative type of way where they're steering you towards an opinion.
Right.
Where back in the days, they just gave you the news.
Just the facts.
This is the news. Now you do what you do.
You formulate your
Yeah.
own opinion
Yeah.
from there.
Beautiful. Right.
Yeah.
It ain't like that no more. And you got to question everything. We just talked about it. You got to watch MSNBC, Fox, CNN, headline news, and then put it together and filter it out and be like, okay, this is the real news right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I hate that because now they don't even give you the full story.
Yeah.
They just pick out a piece, and you got to go to many different sources to get the full story now.
Go ahead, Dave.
No, I was gonna say, I believe it was last week, but the trending on the streets, we were talking about Kamala Harris and about my man. What's my man's name? He used to have his own show. They caught him with the Oxycontin.
Mr. Conservative. Yeah, Mr. Conservative.
Sean Hannity? No.
Nah, the chubby
Rush
dude.
Limbaugh. Right?
Rush Limbaugh.
Rush
My
Limbaugh.
man was going in on Kamala Harris, man, talking about she.
Mattress in a hole.
Yeah, man, and it's like the whole thing, man. It's like, and again, that whole statement spawned a whole bunch of op-eds and opinion pieces.
Yeah.
Oh man, Willie Brown made her who she is, man. Blah blah blah. And I'm like, listen, man, do your research, okay? People saying this woman had an affair with this dude, man. This man had been estranged from his wife for 10 years, man. 10 years he was estranged from his wife. Not only that, he helped other prominent women. Nancy Pelosi wouldn't be where she is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
This dude made you in politics.
Gavin Newsom, man. You know what I'm saying? There's just a bunch of people, man, that this dude helped. You know what I'm saying? And so what do you gain, man, from like what is it that why do we have this thing?
It works. That's the key.
But
it works,
but
bro.
here's
Smear campaigns work, bro.
The problem is this, though, man, and it leads us back to where we are right now, and why there's the divisiveness that we see right now is because it works because we're so hungry for it, man. If we were smart enough and did our homework, when my man brought the information out about him, the first thing I did, I went home and I read about it. I researched it, and I'm like, you know what? She dated the dude. He said, yeah, man, we dated. He goes, and you know what? I did. I helped her with her career. I helped a lot of people with their career. But you know what? When she became, I believe it was Attorney General
for California. Right?
She did something, and she sent him a letter. And it was like, listen, if you get on the wrong side of the law, I'm gonna have to come see you. And she let him know, we've been cool and we have a past, but you know what? I have a future and I got a job to do. And so she put him in this place. Nobody talks about that stuff though. Yeah. It's all about, oh man, she's trying to be a dictator and she wants to take over and here we go. We couldn't find anybody better. We found a great person. It's just, a lot of people have a problem with the fact that she's a woman. They think that, she just this ghoul that's going to take over, man. It's like, and my wife made a great point. It's like, okay, so when you look at Kamala Harris and you look at everything that she does and her personality, do you think, looking at her husband, do you think she goes home and dominates her husband?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's the thing. Exactly. Nobody knows, man. So why is everybody spewing all of this? She's, man, these women just taking over, man. It's like, she was voted into every position that she got put in.
Saying she's qualified.
Because she's qualified.
Yeah.
And to her defense, she said, I'm not special. Any woman in America could be where I am right now. You know what I'm saying? So she's definitely not letting it go to her head, man. But we were speaking about the op-ed stuff and the divisiveness. It's like there are a lot of little girls, man, that are looking up to Kamala Harris right now. And what we should be telling them is that this is what you can do this one day if you choose to do it. Instead of saying, well, she got there because she a mattress back and she she had to lay with somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's a problem, and that's a problem. I feel that I don't want to take sides, but the DNC Incorporated, don't bring your kids into politics. My man Don Lemon, when Trump won the election, no, it wasn't Don Lemon, it was the other guy, something White, Van
White. Yeah, Van White.
Not Van White from Rochester.
I know who you're talking
about.
I'm talking
about. Yeah. He cried. He started crying. He goes, I don't know.
The glasses, right?
Yeah, he goes, I don't know what I'm gonna tell my daughter because, they're like Hillary Clinton. She was gonna be the first female president, and they was kicking that same narrative. We shouldn't be crapping on Clinton. We got daughters, and we should tell them that this is gonna be the first female. Man, why is your kids involved in politics? My daughter was like, she was sad when Hillary Clinton didn't get elected. Because she's like, she's a woman. Why didn't they vote for her? And I was like, well, it's a contest, and she lost. It's not because she was a woman that she lost.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But it's politics, so you have to bring up all the negative stuff. That Hillary Clinton is not a nice person.
Yeah, she's not.
So don't front to your daughters and kids that Hillary Clinton's a beautiful, great person. She's gonna be the first female president of the United States of America.
And negate the rest of the stuff, right?
No, she's not a good person. If you get to that level of politics, you're not a good person.
But
you did a lot of dirt.
Man.
You stepped on a lot of heads.
Politics.
You crushed a lot of necks.
That's politics.
All right.
Yeah,
so Kamala Harris is the same way. She's a beast.
No question.
She got where she at because she's a beast. She's tenacious.
Yeah,
no doubt.
That's the only way you get up there. So, I don't try and involve my kids. Well, she's a woman running for vice president. Yeah, she might get it. That's good. See, you could do it too one day if you work hard. You know what I'm saying? That's about to the extent I'm gonna tell my kids.
That's what I'm talking about.
You know what I'm saying?
But coming back to the media, how with the mudslinging and its positions that it takes, I think what happens though is that most people will not do the homework, right? And they know that.
Yeah.
So they play off of that, and they'll just say whatever they say, which is Trump. I think this is where Trump, on one level, is a good politician, even though he be lying. He says things. Guess what? Most people ain't gonna fact check him.
Right.
They just gonna take it as truth because they his base and stuff like that. So, and that is I would think a majority of Americans, believe it or not, they hear stuff. They for the most part, politics is only important to them when it's time to vote. That's it. Yeah. That's the only time when it's important. The other 3 years, they could care less. That's most people, man.
That's true. That's
except for this one, I think we set a precedent. For the last 3.5 years, it's been nothing but politics.
Yeah, you're
exactly. Right. Because guess what? Trump is good for ratings. Trump is good for ratings.
And not only that, again, I think the mudslinging has a lot to do with it too, because now it brings a different audience. Now, kind of like, you know what I mean? It's like it's a lot of people that involve themselves in that type of negativity are starting to get drawn to it. You know what I'm saying?
So so with me, man, it's like for the last probably the last month and a half, we working from home and stuff. I have the TV on all day. I have it on MSNBC, and I'm the type of person, man, I pick. They have all of these political pundits and these guests on and stuff. I get nuggets. The way I get my news, man, is I get a lot of opinion, from 4 hours of it, and then they might have a guest on that I get 5 minutes of a jewel. You know what I'm saying? But my wife is like, can we please put something else on, because we get in the truck, man, and like I got MSNBC on, because I got Sirius, you know what I'm saying?
She like, he go from the house to the truck.
Oh, wow.
But I told her, I said, listen, the older we get, I feel like we need to be more involved in this. And my reasoning for it is this. It's not for the mudslinging, man, and to hear all of the dirt. This country, whether we want to believe it or not, man, financially, we may, right now with the COVID thing, not so much. Prior to COVID, country was doing good financially. Morally, not so much. We need to be concerned about just as much about the moral compass as we are about the financial compass, man.
Yeah.
So when I'm glued to the DNC and I'm listening to all these feel-good stories, I want to hear a policy. I want to hear what you're going to do, man. What are you going to do to bring us out?
Yeah,
and it's the same thing. Just because the RNC is on, I'm not dismissing Trump and be like, oh, man, I'm not watching that. I want to hear what you're going to do, man. Morally, we are in trouble right now.
Yes.
We are in trouble, man. And I want to hear what Joe and Kamala are going to do, and I want to hear what with Trump and Pence. What's your plan?
Yeah, so this is the problem, though. When we talk about morality, we know democratic policy, and I think most Christians will not agree with every aspect of the Democratic Party.
Right.
I think the problem, though, with the Republican side of those who are Christians is they'll co-sign, whether it be Trump or even other Republicans, but not acknowledge the areas where they are in error. That's dangerous, man.
It is.
And that's dangerous.
So
and
I got a question for you, Luke.
Go ahead.
Why do you think most Christians or people of faith tend to gravitate to conservatives?
Well, I think for the most part, the party itself holds to conservative values. Whether they're Christians, those politicians are Christians or not, they represent conservative values that align with Christianity.
Okay, so give me a couple of examples.
Well, obviously the no abortion aspect behind it, the stiffer penalties with laws, the notion of
LGBTQ thing.
yes, you come into that area of the sexual immorality, but they also, even though I think many of them are hypocrites, but Republicans for the most part will call out immorality in people, whether it be their other constituents that are on the Democratic side, but they're willing to say to stand on the conservative value, and not only that, they are for religious freedoms.
Okay.
And that's something that, from a left standpoint, is being pushed out. You holding any kind of religious position that does not align with them, there is a big voice that frowns upon you. And to me, that goes against all American values of freedom of religion. Not only that, but your freedom of speech as well.
You also have the other side that of people of faith, that they get so emotional attached that they don't even care about those things.
Yeah.
And they still vote, on the emotion. They don't even care if it's pro-abortion.
Yeah.
They could care less about all that. You know
I
what I mean?
I grew up a Republican. That's what I'm voting.
Or I grew up a Democrat, and they don't even look at the policies. So how can you be a Christian and vote for someone that's against the policies against your belief?
Right.
Yeah.
So
How's
a
that?
struggle,
Yeah.
Well, I have a family member, and again, I'm not somebody that I don't want to call people out, put people on blast.
Exactly.
But I have a family member that they won't vote anything except Republican because everybody else to them is considered a baby killer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm like,
Yeah.
and I get it. I get it because if you're rooted in that belief, I completely get it. But what I ask them to do is do the research.
Yep.
Okay, because there hasn't been a president in office yet that hasn't been in some type of military conflict where they had to call on the military
Yep.
to call strikes,
Yep.
to bomb buildings,
Yep.
buildings where babies are, buildings where women and children are, and knowingly do it because an enemy is strategically placing, armory or something there, they do it.
Yep.
That doesn't make them any less guilty of taking the life of a child just because it wasn't abortion related.
Yeah.
Okay.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's layers, man.
There are,
and that's
man,
the
I get
thing.
it.
We're just surface level when it
Right.
comes to this, and that's once again comes back to where people become political is only during political season when it's time to elect their president. For the most, I think a majority of Americans, maybe outside of this past 4 years, most Americans, they don't care about, do your job. We pay you the taxes.
Right.
Pass the laws that need to be passed. We just want to live, with a sense of security, right?
Yeah.
But the reality is Republican or Democratic, and even other players that have different positions politically, they all have dark areas.
Just
in
politics,
there. Yeah,
man.
it's just
That's
it's politics, man. It's ugly.
That's why, like when Kurt had said prior at one of our shows that he doesn't even vote because he's, he knows at the end of the day, and he even said that I think some people will get offended by this or whatnot. He said, but I know that none of the sides are for me, and what's going to happen is going to happen with the Lord. Now, how do we incorporate that? Because we know that things are going to get worse. Biblically, we know the times are going to get worse. Okay, this is why Christ is coming back. He's not coming back for something that's great and good, and you know what I mean. It would be no point for him to come back. So he's coming back, and the great falling away is going to be going to be happening. So how do we, knowing that things are going to get worse? Right?
So just real quick, the great falling away simply is a text in scripture that talks about that the church will fall away. In other words, it will not be as influential, will not be as powerful as it once was, and we see that today.
We see that today
the
already.
The voice
happening.
of the church is no longer. Just give you an example. Jerry Falwell Jr., whose father started Liberty University. He was the president. He just resigned today. Why? Because he was just found out him and his wife and a pool boy, they were all having an affair together.
Look at that. Look at that.
This was a man who was one of Trump's giving money to Trump and also advocating for Trump all the way. And now he just got exposed. Okay. And so this is where the church loses its influence from the Republican standpoint, because here goes these people who stand on moral values. They talk about all these self-righteous positions, which are they're good righteous positions, but they become self-righteous because they don't live by these values. They become hypocrites. Exactly. And so it gives a voice for the Democrats to point to these hypocrites and say, this is what y'all really represent. Now, the reality is we know that's not who we are as believers. And if we hold that position just like Jamma does of being a Republican, he's not that hypocrite, So, but it's these major voices that cause these repercussions to come in who make it look foolish. So as believers then, if it comes down to if I'm going to vote, I really have to look at what are the policies being pushed by each candidate, plain and simple. And now I think most Christians will have a hard time with Biden, but I'm gonna say this as well. Personally, me speaking, just because I've seen the past 4 years, I have a hard time co-signing Trump. I really do. Only not because of the policies that he hasn't pushed, but because my man is so egotistical that he cannot see the good that he's doing.
Right.
It's crazy to me.
And I want to say this while we on this, because me and you had a discussion about this when you were at the crib, and I know things seem dire, man, in some aspects.
Yeah.
But I really want to touch on this no voting thing. No, all of us, man, we're all brothers of color, man. Okay. And somewhere down the line, man, in our past, somebody paid a price for us to be able to be in the position that we're in, even where we're sitting right now. The right to vote. There was a time, man, we would get hung for trying to learn how to read, man. So much blood has been shed for us to be able to have the right to vote, and I think it's a travesty when we let our own, what I consider to be petty views, in the context of people lost their lives so that
grand
we
scheme
could
of history.
Exactly.
Yeah, I hear you.
So when we look at, well, I can't rock with this person, man, because he had a shorty in a hotel room and he did this and this. I'm like, don't vote for him, man.
Yeah.
Even if you plan to not vote for Trump or Biden, cast your vote for something, man. And people say, well, that's irresponsible. In the grand scheme of things, it's not.
It's not, yeah.
It's really not, man, because people were hung, people were slaughtered, man, literally, for the right to be able to vote. And anybody, all of y'all out there, man, listening, I don't care if you agree with Trump, disagree with Trump, or whoever. Find something that you can ride with. Find a policy or something close that you can ride with and shoot your shot.
And not to make light of what you're saying, but my boy Yeezy, I don't know.
Come on, man.
I might write that boy in. Yeah.
Hey, fellas.
No. Seriously, go out and vote. And look there are independent candidates I've been looking up recently. They're out there. They're going to be on the ballot. Look them up as well. Do a little research. It ain't that hard. You just Google it.
Yeah, great point, man. Go vote. A lot of people fought real hard and died for it, man. Utilize that right, man. It's beautiful. I want to go on this. Like, you know how the Republicans, they're tied to Christianity, right? Mm-hmm. And like you get addressed. And then you got people of faith in very high positions of the Christian church endorsing Trump and then get caught. And we look like hypocrites, right?
Yeah.
All right. Now, on that same token, right? And like you said, Dave asked, why do, Christians go conservative? You gave a great answer, right? Because conservative values are in line with biblical values. Yeah. Most of them, right? Mm-hmm. Now, you have liberals and Democrats who say, no, my views and policies align with biblical values. Like, I have a whole bunch of relatives that are liberals and Christian, and they're all DNC. They're all liberal. And they'd be like, because liberalism and Democrats are all about compassion and helping others and helping the poor and the woman and the widow and the orphans, and you also have people who are Democrats and are politicians in high positions that are Christian. Yeah. Like Kamala Harris she's a Baptist. Mm-hmm. She said she's a Baptist. Joe Biden's a Catholic. Mm-hmm. They identify as Christian, but still hold anti-Christian values positions, like anti-abortion, pro-LGBTQ, pro-abortion,
That's the weird thing.
Pro-LGBTQ, but you listen to them speak, and they articulate it well why they made that decision. Yeah, and they're like, I'm still a Christian, but I believe in a woman's reproductive health rights. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I believe life starts out of the womb. You see how they? Yeah. So there's a lot of Christians on the Democratic side also. Yeah.
And so, I mean, you bring up a good point, because I just, to be straight up honest, my grandmother passed away, but I think part of what her position was, she didn't know any better, but my grandmother voted Democrat her whole life.
Oh, yeah.
I remember back in 88 when Dukakis and Bush were going at it, and I asked her, I was like, Ma, who you vote for? And she was like, I don't tell nobody, but I voted for Dukakis. I didn't know anything about that, right? So, but that was straight Democratic because she was Puerto Rican. That's what she's like that. But let me say this: all right, keeping it biblical, and obviously there's hypocrisy on both ends. Could you be a Democrat and actually vote Democratic, and will that affect you as a Christian? No, because salvation is by faith. Right. However, the reality is, I struggle if you are a Democrat and you align, because they're very super minority. There are Democrats that are pro-life.
Yes.
So I don't want to knock that. So there are people that are pro-life Democrats, and I like that position, believe it or not. But if you're a Christian and you articulate arguments for reproductive rights for a woman, but deep down and the Planned Parenthood is slaughtering babies. By the numbers, we know that. Man, you gotta question, where are you in your walk with God? Where are you when it comes to the biblical truth? And that's the thing right there. Christians are sojourners in America right now. Let me explain that. Simply is, there's a better kingdom coming that's better than America, and it is the kingdom of Jesus Christ. It's the only thing that really matters. That's right. Okay, now, that's in the grand scheme of things. Now, how we live in this life, Jesus says you will know them by their fruit. Yes. And so I have to gauge a person, how they live their lives, and make a judgment on that. Now, hold up. That means, didn't Jesus say don't judge? Yes, he said do not judge, but in the manner of being self-righteous. If I see somebody living a certain way that does not line up with God's word, I make a proper judgment about that person that he or she does not line up with the truth of Jesus Christ, because he says, my disciples abide in my word, and they shall know the truth, and the truth will set you free. And that's John chapter 8, verses 31 and 32. Amen. So that's key right there. So any believer, any Christian, will it make or break you as a Christian if you vote as a Democrat? No, because it's by faith. Right. But if you're arguing for some immoral position and steps that is not biblical, man, we have to have a discussion. Why are you there? How did you get to that position after reading certain scriptures?
You got to play it across the board too. A lot of arguments I get against me
Yeah.
because I'm anti-abortion.
Mm-hmm.
They be like, do you practice safe sex? Is your wife on birth control? Is your wife on IUD? Then ain't you killing them sperms and the whole nine? I'm like, well, I wouldn't equate that to life.
Yeah, that's not life.
You know what I'm saying? Life is when you fertilize the egg and the whole nine. You know what I'm
So
saying?
you answered properly, and that's exactly what the scriptures point to. David said, "You knew me when I was in my mother's womb." Right. So that scripture right there talks about life. That God already knows the person before the mom or the dad even knows the person.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. So, but I think you answered that right. You know.
Yeah, exactly. And then I don't know where the confusion comes into.
I think they're trying to self-manipulate themselves, man. You know what I'm saying?
I would say that to some degree, it is the intellectualism of the day, where you do have science and that gets intertwined with the politics, and you make arguments. Now it's semantics, right? And you use words, and words are, if you're eloquent, you can hold a position and sound right. So let me give you a little background context to the days of Jesus. In Jesus's day, it was Greek culture, and it was very common to have debates and arguments, right? So, however, if you were a great orator, you could be wrong in a position, but if you argued properly, they loved you.
Yeah.
Oh, you see that today too.
That's what's going on today.
Yeah, exactly.
So it hasn't really changed that much.
Exactly.
And so if you could speak well, guess what? You can convince people. Plain and simple. That's the same with Obama, man. He's a great orator. And let me say this, even in his DNC, just his recent speech, the DNC convention speech, my man was on fire, bro.
Yeah,
he was and this is one thing that I agree with him. He said Trump has not grown into the presidency.
And he said he was hoping he would take it seriously, man. He's like,
he went in on him, man. And I was like, I'm feeling what he's saying right there. Yeah. But he says it in such a way that it's enticing to the ears. Yeah. And we have to be careful, though, with everybody who does speak like that, because it doesn't mean they're accurate.
And it doesn't mean they're, exactly.
He said it beautifully, but I disagreed with him. But he's a great speaker. Yo, I didn't agree with a lot of Obama policies while he was president. I was like, but I never hated on him.
No.
I was just like, why is he doing this? Yeah. Why did he do that? You know what I'm saying? But when I heard him speak, I was in a trance.
You do.
After 15 minutes, I look at my wife. I'm like, yo, my man, he's right on that, though.
Yeah,
that's how dope he was, man.
He was.
He's got that gift, and that's scary.
That is.
And see, that's what Trump doesn't have.
Oh, he doesn't have that.
Even though you didn't agree with a lot of his policies, you still liked him.
Yes.
You were like, but I still like him. I don't know why. Even though this dude's doing this wrong to me and this wrong, but I like him.
Yeah.
I like him. Now, Trump will be doing the right things, but you hate him. But you hate him.
So, with that said, too, man, with the part about Obama, man, one of the things that Trump loves to say about Obama, like on the immigration thing, he loves to say, under Obama, he was just letting everybody come in, blah, 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 And I want to throw this out to you guys and to our audience. This past weekend, I had an opportunity to watch a documentary on Netflix. It's pretty new. It's called Immigration Nation. And I don't know if you guys have heard about it, but, man, let me tell you, my wife, man, got so emotional. My wife's not a crier, man, at all. My wife got so emotional watching the very first episode. What this documentary does, man, is it tells itself. It's this husband and wife team follow ICE around, and ICE gave them unprecedented access to follow them around.
Wow.
And what they did. What a mistake this was. The Trump administration just in July tried to sue them to get it, to get it
put on the shelf.
Suppressed.
Yeah. Yes. Bro, let me tell you, first of all, you guys have to watch this.
Okay.
Jammer, me and you one time, you were asking me, well, what did Trump lie about? Trump lies a lot.
Oh yeah, he lie all the time.
But when my man said that Obama he just let people come in and stuff like that, man, one of the ICE guys called Obama in this documentary. He called him the what did he call him? He called him the oh man, it's slipping my mind. but he called him the deporter in chief.
Oh yeah.
He said Obama was sending immigrants out. Man.
I think he holds a record for it. He deported the most amount of illegal Mexicans.
Well, he doesn't hold that record anymore thanks to Trump. But man, please, in all seriousness, all jokes aside, you guys watch this documentary, man, and understand that this documentary there's no bias in it at all. Yeah. These people turn the cameras on, man, and ICE
just see action.
Listen, bro, ICE I can't even believe that they let these people ride with them and have the unprecedented access that they had.
What did they do? The ICE agents, they just go into homes where they're illegal and they grab them and send them home.
So the big thing was this, man. ICE was claiming that they were going after people with criminal records, right? But the documentary clearly shows that their big thing was going after what was called collaterals, and that meant like if you were illegal and I was at your house and they had a warrant for you, but I was illegal and I happened to be there and they knocked on the door and I answered the door, they would pull me out and be like, where's your papers? Instead of following the warrant for that one person. Mm-hmm. But what was happening was the cameras would be on and these guys would be driving around. They would be in a car with an agent and the agent's boss will call him on the phone and have him on the speakerphone. It's like, where you at, man? What you doing? I don't care what you do, man. You need to get 2 more. Get collaterals if you have to. And that's not what they were telling the public that they were doing.
Wow.
So they were doing, man, there was a scene where they were going into this apartment. Now, the one guy said, I have a warrant, but I don't have to show it to you. I'm like, what kind of warrant is that you don't have to show somebody? Yeah. But then they showed another scene where these agents were trying to get into an apartment building and they were knocking on the door and couldn't get in. My man took some pliers out and picked the lock. This is right on camera, man.
Wow. So is that illegal?
It's straight illegal, man.
No, if it's legal, they busting your door down.
No, because I was thinking maybe ICE is under different regulations or something. Man. But so collaterals are illegals?
Yes.
Okay.
But the problem is this. They have a warrant for
a
specific person and so
it's just shady work.
Exactly.
Right,
exactly. And then, one agent was, she was like, hey, you hear these stories about agents ripping babies out of people's arms and taking them, and we don't do that kind of stuff. And like 20 minutes later, her and her partner was at somebody's house, and they was ripping a little girl off her daddy's leg and dragging them away.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, Trump went all out. Trump went all out on the immigration thing. And remember
that was one of his
promises.
Part of it. Yeah, exactly.
And here's the thing. I want to state this, man. Listen, I'm firmly, but there's so many people that have come to this country, and there's this whole do it the right way. You guys, when you watch this documentary, do it the right way is not going to mean the same thing to you. Please watch this documentary because it's so telling and it is such an indictment, not only on ICE, and I know that's your man, but it's such an indictment on our democracy and where it's headed under the Trump administration.
It was like that under Obama, though, too.
I get it, man. But
he built the cages that the women and children were in.
I get it, man. But you know what?
I hear what you're saying. It's messed up what we're doing.
This is what I want. This is what I want our people to understand, man.
The integrity of the policy is not there.
Right.
So there's one way. You can carry out law and still be professional about that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that comes back to leadership.
And compassionate and sympathetic.
Exactly, man. That comes back to leadership. You can go and do your job and be a professional about it. Show respect to another human being.
Yes.
But at the same time, carry out the law. And if that's not happening, once again, that's got to go up the line. What kind of leadership has Trump under him that he's allowing that to happen?
But Jen was saying that this has been happening.
Yeah, it's already.
It's not only with Trump.
And then that comes back to Obama too.
What people forget is, when in saying this, people think America's the only country doing this.
Yeah, right. I know.
Dude.
Yeah.
You're right.
You can't go to Canada if you got a felony, my man.
Yeah.
You can't.
Go to Mexico.
You can't even go DWI.
Go to Mexico and get caught without if you overstay your visa or whatever.
Yeah.
Go to any country.
Yeah.
Any country. You can't go in
You're
illegally.
Gonna get deported. Yeah.
You're gonna be like, yo, jail. I don't care if you was here 2 years working. You're here illegally. You're going to jail. You're losing everything. We're deporting you. Or not even. First, you're gonna serve 4 years in our prison, and now we're gonna deport you. That's every country on the planet. But for some reason, the liberal media is using this to demonize America. But every country's like that. Some other countries are worse in their policies
Yeah.
in maintaining legal immigration.
And in the defense of the filmmakers, man, they went along. They were excited about seeing what this whole process what was going on. But then it became a situation where the stuff that they started getting, the footage that they started hiding their footage because they were like, we weren't expecting to get this. We got a gold mine here. They were taking their hard drives, man, and making sure that the film footage was backed up at 5 different places and all kinds of stuff because they just figured somebody was going to sabotage it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and that's the thing when I go back to when I'm talking about the scriptures, when you got government and like that, and what the prince of this world, which is Satan, and and we know that he runs into the government, you're gonna have these things. I mean, and it goes to show you, like Jamma said, this is not only America, this is the world.
Yeah.
Right.
This is around the world.
Absolutely.
So this is
one thing I would say, there's a pastor down in Texas. His name's Rondo Trevino, a Mexican American pastor, and he's on the front lines of that. He goes to the border and he deals with a lot of immigrants who are trying to come over here legally, and some that are even in the process of trying to become not Americans but receive what's the term?
Work status, worker visas.
Not just worker visas, and not just citizenship, but they're just trying to get asylum.
Asylum.
And,
Refugees, asylum.
Refugees.
They go big on asylum. In this documentary,
he's dealing with that, and he's in some of the comments that he says, he's like, yo, what Trump is spewing is not what's going on these front lines. And he's a pastor just going and giving food, giving water, giving clothes. That's what he does.
Y'all please watch this documentary.
Watch it.
What I want people to understand, we look and say, well, you know what, man, Bush did it, man. Obama did it, Trump did it. But you know what, man? We put them there.
Yes, we did.
That house that they live in, that's our house. Mm-hmm. And people forget that, man. That's not their house. They are our guests. That's our house.
Wow.
We pay for that house. That's our house. And you know how you get them out, man? You know how you get them to do what you want them to do? You go see your local representative, man. Blow your representative up. If something is not happening in your town, city, whatever, we put them there. Call them, write them, go to their office. I don't care if you have to go there every day. If you see them not doing their job, go there. That's what they are there for. They are there to do a job. And if they're not respecting the house, man, get them out the house, man.
Get them out.
Yeah.
Now, we've been talking about Trump,
Yeah.
Kamala Harris, and Obama.
Mm-hmm.
What's up with Biden? Let's talk about Biden.
Sleepy Joe.
Let's talk about Biden.
Everybody,
Yo, I ain't gonna lie, I like that nickname that Pastor G. What's his name has from Trump has from Sleepy Joe.
Pastor G.
Yo,
Pastor G.
what do you call
My
him?
bad.
What do you call him?
Sleepy Joe.
Trump
Sleepy
calls
Joe.
him Sleepy
My
Joe.
man been in politics for over 50 years, my man.
Sleepy
Now
Joe.
you want to make a change? I'm just saying. Let's just talk
It's
about
pandering,
We're
man. We
gonna
know
crap
that.
on Trump.
Yeah,
There's a lot of junk we could crap on Trump about. Kamala Harris, good luck. First female black vice president nominee.
Yeah.
That's a great accomplishment. You
Go
got
ahead,
you got
D.
a spotted history. Now, what's up with Biden?
Biden is he
What?
black too.
My man not on there.
My man
He's-
sniffing heads and stuff like that.
He's got a history of
I'm gonna sit back. And
racism.
enjoy this, man.
He's got a history
does
of
have-
racism
yeah, a history.
in
Yes, he
his
does.
political career.
Yes,
Well, but
he
they
does.
not addressing it.
No one's talking
Nobody's
about it.
talking about that. Yeah.
Nah, they
Why
they
not?
brought it up. They brought it up after the convention. I think it was ABC News. They asked him, "Why did you say if you don't vote for me, you're not black?" And they asked him, and he said, "I shouldn't have said that."
See, and that's cool. I wish Trump would do that.
Yeah. He said, "I shouldn't have said that." But he said this. He says, and I don't know if I agree with him on this because of his whole past. He says, my view fundamentally on, with black people versus Trump's is totally different. And I'm like, hold up, bro. You have passed laws that have been harsh on the inner city community, man. Yeah. Laws that have sent people away for years in prison for minor stuff. And I don't know, man. That to me is questionable. Now, can a person change?
Yes.
Yeah, without a doubt,
Absolutely.
a person could change. But when it comes to politics, how genuine is it?
That's the thing.
Right?
That's
because these dudes pander, bro. How about Clinton when I forgot what show she was on. They say, yo, do you like hot sauce? She's like, I carry a bottle of hot sauce with me in my purse. Mm-hmm. What? Yo, Talking about pandering to the black community, and then they had him do an article on it. Oh yeah, she carries hot sauce with her everywhere she go. Man, get out of here with that.
How about Kamala Harris when she was on the
Get outta
Breakfast
here with
Club?
that.
Kamala
Yeah.
Harris was on the Breakfast
Oh, she's
Club.
talking
I didn't
about
see that.
And then a dude was like, "You smoke weed?" She was like, "Yeah, I'm Jamaican." You know how many Jamaicans is mad about that?
Yeah, that's it.
Like, you
man.
stereotyping us like we weed heads?
Yeah.
Because she was trying to connect.
Yep.
She was trying to connect.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Pandering.
Exactly.
Now you know also too that for Kamala Harris, for a lot of her political position, she didn't really identify as a black person. She identified with her Indian culture,
Right.
Because her mom raised her.
Yes.
So it wasn't until recently that she started embracing that. Once again, the pandering.
Again,
Right.
aspect.
And her
Exactly.
father is Indian who migrated to Jamaica. I mean, her father's family are Indians who migrated to Jamaica.
To Jamaica, okay.
Right. So
So what is he, other than, mudslinging Trump, what is his niche that he's going on Biden?
he's
What
a
is-
career politician, man.
No, I would say he's going to go. He's trying to. I think he has a good from the DNC convention. Their position is we need to heal the land.
That's what he's.
Bro,
But let
that's
me
a
ask
good
y'all this,
position
man,
to hold
'cause-
on because all the drama that's going on.
Y'all killing my man Biden over here.
That's what I'm saying. I need to know.
Are we gonna really act like Biden didn't do all the stuff that he did when he was vice president, man?
Yeah, he did it. Yes, that's true.
Are we gonna really act like Biden didn't do all of the stuff with Affordable Care Act and all of
See,
that?
that's what I'm asking, Dave. That's what
Let
I was
me tell
asking.
you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you something right now, man. I'm gonna give y'all a figure: 20 million. Do y'all know what that means?
What's that?
The number of people that are registered under Obamacare, man.
Yeah.
When Obamacare was coming together, Joe Biden was all over the place strumming up support for Obamacare, man. 20 million people later, man. That's 20 million people that would not have health care. Sure, there's options out there, man, but 20 million, you can't ignore that. And people are like, oh, Obama went overboard, man, hanging the medal presidential medal of freedom around his neck and stuff, man. With distinction, he deserved that because when he was vice president, man, I know, he's a career politician, yes.
Yeah.
He's been around the block. You got the stuff with with Anita Hill, Clarence Thomas, all of that stuff, man. People change, and I feel like there was a reckoning with Biden when he was with Obama. I feel like that's when he started to get it. I felt like the work that he did. Now, a lot of people may not agree with that, man, but that dude worked hard. That's why he was so excited in that hot
What we
mic
paid him
moment.
for. Oh, my bad.
What we did. Absolutely, man. He shouldn't get a pat on the back for stuff that he's supposed to do. But the fact that people are like, what about this dude, man? The dude worked hard, man.
I would say this, though. Hearing his story, because that's one thing they did in DNC, it garnered my respect for him even more.
He could have gave up so many times.
Yeah,
man.
losing his wife, I think it's his daughter.
And his
in
daughter.
a car
they
accident.
got hit by a tractor trailer,
Yo,
man.
catching a train 2 hours, coming back to make sure 2 hours later to read to his sons, to put them to bed. That garnered respect on my part. You know what I'm saying? Because that's character. You see what I'm
but
saying?
the gentleman says we going on policies. Okay?
No, I know. I'm not voting for the dude. I'm still voting.
I'm just,
My point is that
you're not going to vote for him because he can tuck somebody in.
Yeah, no, listen, I might vote for him because they call him Sleeping Joe. He right about my alley. He right in my alley.
Joe, yeah. No, but I think they're trying to do a good job to communicate to the people who he is, and they're trying to rebrand him,
No doubt.
as a career politician.
That's a great point. They're rebranding him. Yeah,
Man. They're rebranding him. He's been a career politician his whole life, but whatever he did as vice president, that was, he had to do that, man. That's his role. That's what we pay him to do. Let me ask this though, because healthcare is a major issue. Does everyone agree here that everybody should have healthcare?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
My man,
I do too.
I paid like $200 a week for medical and dental for me, my wife, and my kids. Yeah. Now, if you gotta tax me more so that everybody has health care, I think you're gonna tax me an extra $100 maybe.
Yeah.
But I make out $100 because I'm paying $200.
No doubt.
Yeah.
And everybody got health care now.
Yeah.
Listen,
That's money.
hold on,
The only
I'm not
problem
with you on
that would be
disagreement.
the only problem that would be in is government can't run privatized.
So no, you still
business
allow
is
that
better
as
than
well,
private
though.
business.
Well, see, I would say that
Perfect example is the post office.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
we're in so much debt every single year. We're going billions and billions more into debt because there's too many benefits for workers and it costs too much money where we're not making a profit.
Yeah.
We're losing money every, year.
Speaking of privatization, there's 230 ICE offices, field offices.
Back to ICE.
How many do you think ICE actually operates?
There's
230.
There's 230
ICE
field
buildings?
Yes,
I don't know.
5.
Wow.
The rest of them are private, owned by two companies.
Oh, that's not good. ICE should
Friends of your
not
boy.
be.
Their stock.
Oh,
man,
yeah.
listen,
Oh, you know they're hooking their mans up.
The stock price on ICE is like.
Oh, my
through the
God.
roof.
Listen,
See,
this-
that's not cool.
Y'all watch this documentary.
Listen,
man.
and I was
That's
gonna
not cool.
listen. I was gonna try to go there too. Like, Gemma said, take it out his check. I say this. Hold up, no, we're taking anything because listen, since this Obama thing, the premiums and everything went up.
Yeah.
Insurance
Yes,
went up
insurance
for middle class.
Right.
Okay, let's not negate that.
They got hurt.
Yeah,
They got hurt.
let's not get that. I'm paying a lot. But what I say is this: we need to tax the pharmaceutical companies.
I'm gonna. Okay.
Trump
See
is
that?
doing that.
You know what I
Trump
mean?
just did a deal where insulin prices are way, way, way lower or something like that.
And I think we should use that when we tax them because they're making
and
billions
that's
and
what-
billions.
and so-
And we should use that to incorporate the free health. Not take it from the
That's interesting
American
that you say that,
middle
yeah.
class worker.
No doubt.
Let's tax these pharmaceutical companies that are making billions and
Yeah.
billions of dollars.
or
They are-
regulate their prices.
Regulate their prices, and
That's
this is the
a-
thing:
that's
when
a
you
good
talk,
point.
when you pay for certain medications, and they're just astronomically high, and the profit is like 300-500%. Yeah. Come on, man, that's just wrong. That ain't capitalism. That's straight robbery.
And what I mean by taxing too is that even if we tax these companies a certain percentage, right?
Yeah.
It goes back to the clinics and things of that nature, so that we don't have to pay so much, so that the medical people can get paid and things of that nature.
Yeah.
If we're gonna do it that way.
I
doubt.
also
I
agree
agree.
with universal education. How can that be a bad thing? Shouldn't college be free for everyone? I agree with that. And you could tax me another $100 for that.
So we just gonna keep taxing everything. Jamma got there.
No.
Listen, we gonna
You see
pay
that?
for
I'm a
America.
Republican.
Jamma pays for America.
No. All of us, not just me, bro. All of us.
No, we go. No, Jamma, you're the one. Lou still quiet.
okay.
Dave
Yeah,
still
because-
quiet. I still quiet. We getting it from Jamma.
College
No, but see-
education should be free for
But
anyone
this is the
who
problem.
qualifies.
So that's key right there, qualifications,
Absolutely.
because not everybody should be going to college.
Right.
And seriously, man.
I mean, you gonna have
Absolutely.
some.
You gotta
have,
qualify.
Like,
Bro, I'm gonna be
career
honest.
college
I didn't.
students,
I
man.
tried to go. I tried to
Let's
go to
talk about
college when I
community college
first.
only.
I tried to
Not
go to
joking.
community college when I first graduated. It wasn't
And
happening.
at the right time. Yeah, you're right.
I
You're
went
right.
back 8 years later, and my mind was ready for that.
Well, what Jem was saying, right? If you can, pass the
Tests,
the
right.
tests and things of that.
Bro,
nature.
they make these tests so easy to take now.
What,
man.
the
comprehension
I'm
test?
going back, man.
It's like
comprehension
Cuomo.
test, bro.
Yo, like
I'll be
Cuomo-
contemplating going
Like
back.
Cuomo just did.
Especially
want
now
to.
with the mindset that I have now.
Cuomo just in New York State, you go to college for free.
SUNY, right? The SUNY
Right.
colleges.
If your parents make less than 115 grand a year, right, and it's gonna go up to 125 grand
Yeah.
a year, right, but there's stipulations, right. You have to go full time. You have to accomplish it in 4 years. If you don't get your bachelor's in 4 years, then you foot the bill.
yeah.
And
I
after
like that.
after you get your bachelor's, you have to stay in New York State for like 5 years
Okay.
to work at that profession.
Well, because they
You see how
they
smart
leave
that
it
is?
with degrees.
Because you're not necessarily going to get
Smash
into
smart.
that
It is.
profession.
It's
That's
very
dope.
smart.
It's not free education. You got stipulations.
But
you know
listen,
what I'm saying?
Obama, to give Obama credit, he gave a lot of loan forgivenesses. I remember him passing a lot.
I
of
wish you would have gave me loan forgiveness.
I remember-
You
I remember, right?
You had
He did a lot of
to
stuff
no.
with Pell
This is what you
Grants.
had to do. If you wanted loan forgiveness, you had to pay 10 years straight
That's what I'm doing now.
of making every payment.
Yeah.
But this is the thing.
That's 10 years straight.
They'll
what I'm
work
doing now.
they'll work with you, but after a while your increments start to rise of what you got to pay back, because that loan, depending on how big the loan is. Like if you go to a private college or if you go to a school that's more expensive, bro, you looking at mortgages, right? Now if you go to the community college, that's a little bit more manageable. But my loan was astronomical. And,
Well, you went
and
to
I went to
school.
an independent school, and so
That's what happened when you go to Yale, man.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, y'all just broke up two topics. Where are the president's
Both of them are non. Both of them are not for free medical, universal health care or universal education.
No.
Biden is?
Biden is. He's for universal health care.
Yeah. The health care.
Yeah,
for-
he's for that.
Really?
Yeah, he said that this past week at the
Because
the
wasn't
convention.
Ocasio the crazy Puerto Rican chick? She was like, I can't endorse Biden because I'm for Bernie. If Biden endorses more of our policies, then I would endorse him.
Yeah, no, but he said it. He said it this past. I watched
Universal health care.
Universal health care.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
He was like
And
health
for
care
the
for
record,
everybody.
She actually didn't endorse him. Like she endorsed Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
But that was more of a technicality.
You talking about the one, the local shorty? You talking about the local?
Yeah, over the
No,
Bronx.
the chick from the Bronx, Ocasio.
No, Ocasio.
The green.
Alexandria.
She,
something like that.
she's pretty
Ocasio
angry, man.
Cortez.
She is like, I don't ever see her smile, man. She is real angry.
Yeah, she's pissed.
Yo, I tell you what, she's held her own a couple times, but then sometimes some of the things she said is just like, yo, where are you getting that from? You know,
She's
so-
crazy left field. She's crazy.
No,
left
she's
field.
left liberal hardcore. You know.
So how's these? How's everything looking out? What you think? The outcome to this? What's predictions? Can we get some predictions?
Predictions, yeah.
I think Trump is going to win.
Gonna win?
think the media is doing the same thing they did when he was running against Clinton.
Oh, you think it's
they was
gonna
like,
be
oh,
smooth
it's
sailing?
a joke. They played him. It's a joke. This guy's a joke. They were laughing at him. Oh my God, he doesn't even have a chance. We already have the polls and blah 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 blah.
So you
Now,
think
yo,
Trump gonna get-
when he was running,
I don't think
was
they make that mistake again.
was Hillary Clinton up in the polls?
Yeah, every
Yeah,
poll.
yeah.
because that's
that's
what's
what they were
going on
saying.
right now.
Every poll.
That's what they were saying. Yeah, at the time.
So what
yeah.
happened was there was like a couple swing states where they had the wrong projections and they were like, Hillary is up, blah blah blah. So black voters, they stayed home. They didn't come out because they were like, why should we even? They had her like, it was some ridiculous number too, man. It was crazy.
Well, she had the popular.
She
vote.
did,
Yeah,
but it was
so-
like 98%, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had. Yeah,
And
I remember that.
and it was she missed those key states because of
Yeah,
that, man.
it was
Yeah,
I think,
all the swing
Michigan,
all the
Wisconsin,
Michigan, yeah.
Florida.
I think South
those
Carolina
three
was.
main
I think
joints.
one of them was South Carolina too.
So what you think, Lou? Your prediction?
Me personally, I think Biden might win.
Think Biden gonna get
Yeah,
it?
not that I don't know if I want him to win. That's not who I want to win. But at the same time, I can't co-sign Trump personally. You know, so I'm not voting for either one. But I think Biden's going to win it because Biden is not. At this point, I have not seen him respond to Trump like all the other politicians have.
He's just ignoring them.
He's just letting him make a fool of himself in a sense. He's like, yeah, we'll see when the time comes. Yeah, we're
no,
going to debate each other.
I
yeah, but
think
we-
he's not speaking because he doesn't want to make a fool of himself.
he
Because
could
every
be
time
right.
he opens his mouth, one man be blibba-doo-ba-doo-ba-dee.
However,
So
he
they want him to
does.
speak as less
Yeah,
as
he
possible.
does.
We gotta give him
He does.
Ritalin. He needs some Ritalin to keep the focus. You know, Ritalin helps with the
Yo.
focus. How about you, Dave? What you thinking? What's your prediction?
I think definitely Biden. I think Biden's going to take it. You know, all of
Close?
this.
Close or landslide?
Nah, it's gonna be landslide, bro. If you, I'm gonna tell you why, man.
Let's see what's up.
If you really take the temperature of this country right now, and Trump does not do himself any favors,
He don't, man. He
That is a
don't. He
good
be
point.
killing
And,
himself.
and the
bro.
reason I say that is because, so right now, you have people, man. I'm sorry, I'm not on my mic. You have people that are out of work. Families cannot provide for their homes right now, and all my man is doing right now, the convention started today, man, and he was out in North Carolina, blah 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 about something, man. It just the same stuff. People want to know what's going on, man. People
Good
want to
point.
hear what's going on, and then I don't know if you guys have watched what's going on in the streets, man. With the people are still protesting.
They are.
People are not gonna let this
People are
slide this
angry
time,
right now,
man.
yeah.
Well,
Wow.
and they also upset because, Hillary won the popular vote.
Right.
That's another argument. Like, hold on, we got to make sure this doesn't happen again.
Right.
That
Yeah.
and with everything going on, Black Lives Matter movement. This is like they got so much momentum on the left right now.
Yeah,
That's
they
why
got
I
some
think
serious momentum.
I think they're gonna-
Strategically
I think it's
timed
strategic.
perfectly.
No, I think
No,
it's
they got some-
strategic.
it's
in what they're
strategic.
doing. But it's going to cause people to actually come out and vote
is.
this time.
Yeah, and they got a serious momentum going. I do have
I'll be
to say.
surprised if
Fellas,
Trump wins.
but
it.
that works on both sides.
It does.
That's what y'all not thinking
So
about.
what
Y'all
you-
only see
I hear you.
Because we live in
Yeah.
the inner city
I-
hood.
I
We
hear
see
you.
our
No,
people.
bro.
You don't see the people out in the rural parts.
I think what you brought up
But-
too, though, is important, Jammer. Like a few, I don't know if it was we were just talking off air, but that silent majority.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So there's a lot of people you never hear on social media, you never catch, and they lean in Trump's side.
And
They are.
if you talk to them, they be like, oh no, I don't vote. I'm not into
But
politics.
you know
But
what?
inside, they're like, I'm
Let
gonna
me
go
tell
vote
you.
for
Let me
Trump.
tell you something. Have you guys been watching? What's the gentleman's name? The guy used to be the chair of the RNC. Michael Steele, I think his name is.
Yeah, the black guy.
Yeah.
Oh, the black dude. Yeah.
This y'all could keep the silent majority. You know that whole silent vote thing.
Mm-hmm.
They not coming, man. That cavalry ain't showing up, dog.
I don't see.
I'm saying this because it's the same thing with the whole, the voter fraud. It's like, oh man, the voter fraud. I pulled some numbers on the voter fraud, man. The voter fraud thing, that Trump has been kicking, man. Since between 2000 and 2014, there were 31 credible instances of impersonation fraud in voting, man.
Yeah, he's just trying to push a narrative.
I don't know.
And this comes from this is
accurate,
and
bro.
I'm gonna tell you, man, I took Jammer's advice, man. I did. I stopped looking at CNN and then reading them stats and stuff.
Yeah.
Listen, bro, I went to this spot called the Brennan Center. It's called BrennanCenter.org. Brennan Center for Justice, man. They're all about they are bipartisan. And they don't care who you are. They don't care if you're black, white, candy stripe. All they care about is defending democracy. And the numbers, man, that they were coming back with about voter fraud was just ridiculous. They said that an American has a better chance. It's not a better chance. It says, given the tiny incident rate for voter impersonation fraud, is more likely that an American will be struck by lightning than he will impersonate another person at the voter polls. And they found that the fraud rate, the incident rates were between 0.0003% and 0.0025%.
Okay.
31
So you're telling me
instances.
there's a chance? Oh my bad.
Absolutely.
Yo, in California, they just had an election. It's 7 million votes casted. Majority of them by mail, right? 110,000 were found. Defraud, fake impersonation is not the problem.
It's a lot of it was error. They were saying
Right.
I was
A lot of it is
Just human error?
right.
Yeah.
Missigned a ballot, didn't fill out a certain part, didn't put the right name, the
Absolutely.
whole nine, and that will affect the vote. We can't accept this mail ballot
Absolutely.
because it's not signed properly.
But see, the thing that they're doing now is that they're, the instruction
Yes.
they have stepped up the training on it.
Yes.
And training people, the information that they put with the ballots on how, everything that you need to do to make sure that your ballot gets counted. So the education piece. So if anything, I would love to see Trump say, you know what, stop talking about the fraud and talk about educating the people on how to vote.
Right.
Because I'm saying, like, if he's so worried about fraud, man, and he doesn't want the ballots to get delivered and all this stuff, what about the votes for you? What about the votes for Trump that won't get cast for him if all of this stuff, if we listen to all this nonsense?
My question is, why is this main focus on trying not to get people to come to the voting booth with a proper ID? They're even trying to bypass that. You don't need an ID. You live in America. You should be able to vote. No proper ID.
Nah, man, I'm not
Yeah,
with that.
I'm
No
not in
proper
agreement with
ID. I could come to the voting. I'm David Vargas. Oh yeah, I have your name right there. Go ahead.
Really,
No.
yeah, exactly.
No,
yeah.
I want to show my ID.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Look, I'm this person. Check my name. Check my signature. Boom, I'm gonna go vote. Why do they have this mission to bypass
all
that?
of these countries are so far ahead. My wife was like, we were driving down the street the other day. She was like, I never noticed how ugly the poles for the electric wires are. You don't really look up but when you do, you look up and you see how ugly they are. And I said, you know why? That's because we suck. Our infrastructure in the United States sucks.
Yeah.
You go over to Europe, man, you don't see that stuff, man.
Everything's underground.
Everything is underground, man. They could, and it's because they spent the money to put their stuff on the ground.
In
man.
infrastructure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it, man.
It's a good investment.
It is, and
Good
it's
roads,
smart.
good
It's-
electricity. I mean,
and it's smart, man. And it's like we're so far behind
On everything.
everything, man. It's like the world laugh at us, man, because we are so far behind. So, if even with with the ballots and stuff, man, come on, man, we're better than this.
If we were so far behind, why are we the main country that everyone's trying to come to in the whole world? I mean, I don't know. See, the numbers is like, I don't know.
I think there
Watch
may
the
be
documentary, and you might be surprised how many people don't want to come here anymore.
Well, statistically,
Yeah,
you can research it.
That's
We
there's
are
still-
the
people are
most
still
immigrated
coming
country
here, yeah.
in the world.
Watch the documentary, dog. I'm telling you,
Well, I don't know.
watch it.
I don't know.
We're a mess right now, man.
I don't know. Go ahead, Lou. You was gonna say something?
Well,
Lou?
no, I'm just saying that the stats show that people are still immigrating here at the highest rate compared to any other country. But
You know what?
I think the opportunities here are still greater than any other nation.
I
out there.
don't disagree.
Yeah.
No, it's really because they still think we're giving out that welfare cheese, and they haven't got note back that
that powdered
we
milk.
discontinued that a long time
That
ago.
powdered milk,
No one
that big
told them
old
that.
thick can
No one
of
told them
peanut
that.
butter that make you choke.
I will leave America for the country that's
Yo.
supplying that cheese.
Yo, listen. It's been a good one here, man. This has been a great discussion. It's actually been very cordial. I appreciate y'all, brothers, because politics can get ugly, but
It was too cordial.
listen.
Man, I wanted some yelling, and I wanted to. That was whack
we
to
are
me, man. Y'all
brothers.
trash.
Yeah,
Oh
we
my
good.
bad. I wanted Jammer to his vein to pulse out of his neck, because Trump is the best, and I love him. You know what I mean?
It wasn't about Trump. It was just
It
about
wasn't.
the whole
He wasn't.
political climate.
He was trying to
No
be
doubt,
too
man.
smooth. You're whack.
Nah,
right
he was
now.
with it.
He's
He was
whack
with
right
it.
now to me.
Yo, but
I'm not a fan.
You
of
said
him.
nothing. All you spoke about was welfare cheese, bro.
That's all I want to talk about. I'm voting for welfare cheese.
Why are you so calm
Voted.
tonight, man?
Listen, I was not calm. I threw in my little 2 cents. Listen, and I didn't explain what I needed to explain. You guys were just too calm and collected. Yo, Luke, can I give my shout outs real quick?
Yo, give
before
you shout outs, man. Shout outs right now.
TATS Nation, we love y'all out there. We want to give a shout out to all my people in Ireland listening. We have Canada listening, Brazil, Mexico listening, okay, Zambia, United Kingdom, Singapore, and Germany. They all checking in
big
to the
ups,
TATS
big
Nation,
ups,
baby.
Big ups.
Big shout out to y'all. We
Yeah.
love y'all. Thank you for the support.
For
And
real.
everybody go vote, man. Go
They
vote.
can't vote. You know, they in
Get out
different
there
countries.
and vote. Do your thing. Make sure you pick who you want to pick. Be informed in doing it, right?
No
That's
doubt.
the key right there. So, all right, yo, it's time for our street spotlight here. And this brother right here, man, he got some bars, man. I appreciate his music. I've been listening to some of his music, man. Some good stuff right there. He representing the Lord. His name is Randy Mason, and you could catch him at randymason.org, or you can hit him up on patreon.com at Randy Mason. Follow him on Instagram at Randy Mason Music. You can catch his, if you want to stream his music, you can catch him on Spotify, Bandcamp. Randy Mason, this dude right here, check out this track right here. It's called Algo-Rhythm. Algo-Rhythm. And I'm pulling it up right here. Algo-Rhythm. If I can get my joints. Oh, man.
Is there reception?
It done froze up on
froze
me.
up on you.
My bad, y'all. But we get it cracking. TATS Nation, keep riding. TATS crew gonna keep driving. We out.
If a song drops on the internet and no one is around, does it make a sound? Can you hear me now? On the internet and no one is around, does it make a sound? Can you hear me now? If a song drops on the internet and no one is around, does it make a sound? Can you hear me now? How come when nobody's watching, it's harder to get my all? I'ma keep rocking, ain't stopping because of who didn't call. Everything matters to Abbott, no matter how big or small. Long before all of the cameras are bad, I'ma set the ball. Daily I battle my shadow with apples and winter water. Wish it, I will it, the one it, I work with the wherewithal. See the writing on the wall like aerosol. Still I be on the court shooting air balls. It's stressful trying to be successful. But what if you already are sacred and special? Forget moves, motivated to get views. It's better not to let the right know what the left do. Word is born, I got bars, don't bother the villains. Even if they never ever get caught in surveillance, I would never use my talent to be in the ceiling. Prayers of a righteous man and get better with it. If a song drops on the internet and no one is around, does it make a sound? Can you hear me now? On the internet and no one is around, does it make a sound? Can you hear me? If a song drops on the internet and no one is around, does it make a sound? Can you hear me now? No quandary, Godspeed, how I'm doing this laundry. Fast like Gandhi until it is complete. With my peers, yo, I can't even compete. I'm busy kicking it with the kids in the concrete, sipping this coffee and visiting auntie, playing my favorite song and I'm singing it off key, probably offbeat, killing me softly. Man, I'm just trying to live, I ain't trying to be lofty. However costly, whatever it costs me. Big things, small things, God is in all things. I rub my eye trying to see through the nebula. Less separation, swing sacred and secular. I don't need the accolades and the props and the praises to continue writing pages and rocking on stages. I just trying to find my way through the phases and mazes to let my generation know that my God is amazing. If a song drops on the internet and no one is around, does it make a sound? Can you hear me now? On the internet and no one is around, does it make a sound? Can you hear me? If a song drops on the internet and no one is around, does it make a sound? Can you hear me now? Hey yo, I used to say I'm going to make it. Instead today I chose to make this. You can add this song to your playlist and tell all your friends it's your favorite. We gon' shine bright, bright as the day is. But like Moses, my light is fading. Still I rock like the caveman, cause I know whose image I'm made in. Sing a song for someone somewhere, even if it seems like nobody does care. Even if it's unclear what the plan is upstairs. Got bars but barely got bus fare, All I gotta do is work on the album rhythms. I don't really gotta worry about algorithms. Don't gotta worry about the fans about how to get them. All I gotta do is focus on altruism. Touche.